Okay, giving a reaction video to this video right here um, by a very intelligent woman. So I'm going to give a reaction to this and commentary. All right, later. That's enough with me talking, and let's just get into the commentary. Hard Talk Radio.
Crimson Cure channel. I am, of course, your host, the Crimson Cure. And as usual, we're just going to jump right into the topic. So we can see the title of this, the real reason why Black women like bad boys. Okay. And this is kind of, I had, crazy Uber stories, although this one wasn't crazy. I had a rider, a Black man, and he was telling me about his children. He has 2 children by 2 different women. And the oldest one, who has a daughter with him, has decided that he's not going to see her. He said he hasn't seen his daughter in a year. And he was kind of telling me the story a little bit of their meeting. He said it was, his daughter, I think it was, he said about 11 years old. So this was 11 years ago. She was older than him, about 8 years, which today makes her my age. And said that when she got with him, he was in the street, young dude, slanging, selling drugs, hustling, doing the whole street thing, right? And he was giving her, just all kinds of money, and everything. And then he said once she got pregnant and had their daughter, he decided that, I shouldn't be in the streets like this. And because anything can happen, the streets was getting hot. And let me go ahead and pull some other stuff out of the mud. So he said what he did was he went into a career. He didn't go into what. And it took him a while to sort of make that transition. So when he wasn't hustling, he wasn't able to give her the amount of money that he was able to give her before. Now that doesn't mean he didn't provide for her and the new child. He said he was able to do that. It just wasn't this extra like he had when he was hustling.
See, that's what men do. We understand that we can't do the same things we used to do, and we have to grow. So he was transitioning from being a thug, a bad boy, to being a provider and a man for his family. Now, let's hear do you think that woman stayed with him when he changed from being a bad boy? Let's keep going.
Hustling. And he said it took him a while to get to a point where he was making more money doing what he was doing than hustling. But in the meantime, she didn't want to stay with him. She didn't like that he had switched over into more productive work that wasn't in the street. And he wasn't able to give her the money that was associated with him hustling and being in the street. And that made me think about, because that is definitely not the first time that I've heard that.
So basically, she had a man, from what the woman's talking about from the story, not her, but she's saying what the story that the guy's telling, that the guy was willing to change from a dangerous lifestyle, being a pookie and a ray and a thug, to being a productive person in society. And the woman decided to leave him. Unfortunately, this happens. That just shows what she really cared about. She cared about the image, instead of the reality of a man understanding that he wants to do better for his family. And unfortunately, that's looked upon as weak in Black culture, urban culture, that is.
I've heard men talk about it, and at times I've heard women candidly talk to each other about similar situations. And here's the deal. The real reason why Black women like bad boys isn't just because he's a so-called pookie. It isn't just because of that. It isn't necessarily about how he treats her versus how a man that isn't in the street is treating her. It isn't about all of these other things that sometimes we say it's about. What it's really about is she's addicted to the lack of a value system or the chaos inherent in knowing you need one but don't have one. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that. What she likes, what she's attracted to, is the lack of a value system or the chaos that is inherent in needing a value system and not having one.
And unfortunately, this type of man and this type of excitement and toxic drama is what's pushed in the hip hop industry, and it's pushed on the Black community, especially on the young ones in the Black community coming up from broken homes.
Because what that young man expressed to me was that he changed his value system and he brought his own life into more order. It stopped being so chaotic, because being in the street is a chaos in and of itself, which is why it ends badly so many times, because not a lot of good, clear decisions are being made from a leadership standpoint and from a system order and structure standpoint. And this is how a lot of our men get caught up and get incarcerated, because being in the street is a chaotic thing. It's always something happening. It's always, you never know what's going to happen next. You know, you could be somewhere chilling and somebody bend the block and spray it, you know, and that type of stuff. You're always constantly looking over your shoulder, looking up, you know, maybe there's danger, maybe there's not. We just had a situation where the 7-year-old got shot a few weeks ago and killed, and then her father, it was because her father was in the street and he had people who was gunning for him, literally. And, you know, they caught him up and didn't care that he had his child with him. So it's that type of stuff. It's living on the edge. It's living.
See what that is about? And this is what some of these woke, brainwashed Black women who are brainwashed by the entertainment industry, this is what they want. I hate Black women. Just talking about the ones who are brainwashed by this hip hop culture. This is what's affecting the Black community and making them make poor choices in mates, or reject their mates once they change from being a street dude to a regular, decent, productive citizen of society.
Living in the dangers, living in, you know, that sort of chaos. Even when the woman doesn't like necessarily the danger that's inherent in it, what she does like is the chaos that's there. And she likes the chaos that's there because she resonates with it. All right? She resonates with that chaos. So therefore, there's no order, there's no value system here that says we can't do this and we have to find a different way and a better way to accomplish what we're trying to accomplish. So, ladies, I need for you to understand why you are attracted to these kinds of men, these what I call F-19s, which is just a real cute way for me to say F-ninja. For those of you who don't know what an F-19 is, okay? This is why you're attracted to those men. He's living a fast life and, you know, he has money and things of that nature. And that's part of it. That's part of it. That's definitely part of it. But you're also attracted to him because he doesn't have a good value system. He doesn't have a value system that has order to it, that has some system to it, that has a structure to it. He lives a life in chaos, which is basically living it in feminine energy to a certain degree. Now, I'm not saying he's effeminate, but chaos in and of itself is a feminine energy. It's part of it. And you like him because you like the chaos. You don't want any order. You don't want any value system. Even if you think you might need one, you like being in a situation where things can go haywire in a moment's notice. And then nobody can really check you, and nobody can really make sure that you're doing anything that you've got to do.
And this is what really is why women, a lot of Black liberal women hate Kevin Samuels, because he's talking about things that is about structure and order. And they've lived most of their lives not being told anything like this. Okay, and whenever a woman talks like this, she's called a pick-me. Whenever a man talks like this, he's gay. He's a sellout. Okay, they try to attack his manhood, but you know, you're only harming yourself, because in the end, You're not getting younger, you're getting older. And the only thing's changing is the amount of kids you have with different last names.
That's why you like the so-called bad boy. It's not that he's cooler. It's not that he looks better. See, all of that is just superficial. That's the smoke screen. That's the cap. Because there are plenty of men who have careers who are just as smooth, charming, debonair, suave. They're not in the street. They're handsome. They know what's going on. They got their masculinity intact. They got their stuff in order. And they're not living by the seat of their pants and yelling YOLO and all of this other type of stuff. They're not doing that. So it's not that. You're attracted to the chaos in your life, and you're attracted to the chaos in his life. You like the chaos of his life. You like the arguing and the going back and forth. You like not having any leadership. You like not having any structure. And the only time you get tired of that is when you're older and your biology demands something else. Your female nature demands system, order, and structure.
This is what is this really, really makes women mad. I know with this woman, because you're telling them things. They can't do things like a man. They can't go off and act wild, and then when they get older, try to recuperate and recover themselves. And this is what she's saying. I mean, men, it depends as well, because depending on what you did in your younger years, you may just be end up paying for it in your 40s or until your day you die. See, she's talking about this because women's bodies are different from men's bodies. Women's body has a time clock. Okay, there's a certain period to have kids. There's a certain period to find a man. There's a certain period, and this is science. This is biology. And again, this is why women hate men who talk about this stuff, especially Kevin Samuels, because this means you don't have all the time in the world to go date any type of dude. You don't have all the time in the world to go be playing around, wasting time with random dudes, becoming a single mother and all this stuff, because all this, there's a time period. Okay. This is why you have some women, they squander their good times. And then when they get later, 30s, 40s, they want to settle down. They say, where have all the good men gone? They were there in your prime. And now that you're past your prime, now you want to try to get a beta male simp. Now you're trying to hunt for men. And you get more masculine because now the dating pool is shrinking and you're getting mad and you're getting a scarcity mindset. And you try, in some instances, they try to yell at a man to try to make them stay with them.
It demands a leadership. It demands it. And then you want to get somewhere and cry about, hey, where are all the men at that lead? You didn't want a man that led. You wanted a man that was just as chaotic as you were. And he allowed you to be. Because he didn't have a way of not being chaotic himself. So you actively avoided men that actually had leadership qualities, even if you liked him, even if you were really attracted to him. But he ended up having a value system that was worth something. That put things in order, in true order, not chaos disguised as order. Okay? So I need every woman within the sound of my voice to get clear on why she's with these so-called bad boys. You have to get clear, ladies, on why you're with these types of men, these F-19s. Why are you so attracted to flying on F-19 airlines? Okay? It ain't just the cheap rates of the flight. You like the fact that F-19 airlines doesn't get regular maintenance. And that's chaotic. You might get on a plane that goes somewhere and you might not. You might fly or you might crash and burn.
They like flying by the seat of their pants. They like the fact that there's no pilot and they get to choose wherever they want to go. Doesn't even matter if it could lead to destruction. Single motherhood, permanent STDs, death.
Like that type of stuff. You don't want to fly United or American Airlines or anything like that, an airline with some structure to it. That get regular maintenance, that's strict on how things are going. But those are the planes that get to their destination. teens never get to their destination, not without a million mishaps along the way. And you like the chaos of those mishaps. You like living by the seat and the edge of your pants. You like that type of energy that he brings to you because it resonates with you. And in many of these cases, you're able to either overtly or covertly manipulate the dynamics of that relationship, because the real essence of you liking men that have chaos is that you find them, or you feel as though these men are weak and that you can control them. And this is where liking the so-called bad boy comes from. So I need for the ladies to be clear and to be 100% on this. This isn't even about other men not having it together. You avoid those men because they have it together. You like the bad boy because you're not even really looking for a man that's giving you the 4 P's, because that comes with stuff. You want that. You want provision and procreation and problem solving and protection. You want it. But when you're young and out there and, you're popping, you figure you can do without it. And you figure what he's giving you is enough, because he's definitely giving you procreation. He may or may not. He might be giving you provision. So you like that, the money and the sex. But he's not necessarily problem solving, and his protection is chaotic, because he'll go all out and kill somebody and get himself killed on your word without checking your word or without being sure about the veracity of your word. Okay? So men that actually can provide provision, problem solving, protection, and procreation actually come with a better value system, because they have to have more order.
Problem is, in this gynocentric society, most black women are liberal. That's a fact. They don't want that. They want the provision, but they don't have to sacrifice for it. Just like the man has to sacrifice providing for you and submitting and not going out there and cheating on you, because that means he risks becoming a single father, and finances are split and take away from the primary home that he already has.
For things to go the way that they need to go. You don't like order because order puts you in a certain position, and it doesn't allow you to manipulate the dynamics of the relationship. So while there are multiple things that may go into you liking the bad boy, that's the real core of it, is that you like the chaos of not having a value system and needing one. But you don't get it.
Okay, so comes to that. So to me, I think she hits the nail on the head. I also like to add the fact that, you have women that will even go as far to have the bad boy and a decent man at the same time. She'll understand that if I pick the bad boy, I'll get judged. So let me go and get a man that's considered a good guy by society, and I'll still play him with the bad boy. There are women who do that. Okay, basically, it's equivalent of a man who's homosexual, and he can't really go out and say who he is really sexually. So he'll just marry a woman not for love but for appearances. What they call a beard. Okay, and that's how sometimes it's done. It's sad to say, it's really deep how you have, society with this gynocentric culture has really brainwashed women, has enabled women who just really know they'll get shamed for their bad choices and don't care. So they'll try to have the bad boy and the good guy. Worse, have the bad boy's kid and pin it on the decent man and say that's his kid. There's many. It gets to that point. Unfortunately, many black women will hate this one, but she's trying to keep them from being in a position where of, being a single mother and living a crappy life. But a lot of women don't care. A lot don't care because they care about what they like, not about what's beneficial for them in the long run. All right. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think she's right? Let me know. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Later.